Now this question in trigonometry in section D is probably one of the easiest question in the section D. Much more simpler than some of the questions that were asked in section C. So it's not necessary that in a class 10 paper, section D is always going to have the most tough questions. There could be some bonus questions where you can score the 4 marks quite easily. So you have to be very attentive and very careful on that count. So for solving a question related to trigonometrical ratios, you first take the LHS. LHS is, it's very intuitive that you first take sine A common because it is common, and what you get is 1 minus 2 sine square A, and in the denominator you take cos A common, so you have cos 2 cos square A minus 1. Another intuitive thing is that you need to get rid of 1, and 1 is what? Sine square A plus cos square A minus 2 sine square A, and here you have, since it is minus 1, so you have minus sine square A minus cos square A, because minus, if you take common, it will be sine square A plus cos square A, which is 1. And what do you get? Tan A sine square A, cos square A minus sine square A in the numerator, and the denominator also you get cos square A minus sine square A. They cancel out, so you get tan A, which is equal to the right hand side. So it's a very easy question, and most of the things that you need to do here are intuitive, because sine A and cos A are common, so you would obviously take them out, and this gives you tan A, which is what is there in the right hand side, so you need to prove that these two are equal, and for that you substitute 1 with sine square A plus cos square A, because sine square A plus cos square A is 1. As soon as you do it, you see that both of the factors in the numerator and denominator, they cancel out and you get the result directly. So this is how you do this. Okay, so this question is related to mensuration, and what it says is that there is a bucket which is in the shape of a frustum of a cone. Okay, the base of its lower end is 10 centimeters, so the radius is 5, and the diameter of the upper end is 30 centimeters, so the radius is 15 centimeters. The height is given to be 24 centimeters. The slant height is not given. You have to first find out the area of the material, the metal sheet that will be used to build this bucket. So the area of the metal sheet will be the total curved surface area of this frustum plus the bottom circular area. So the area of sheet to be used will be equal to the curved surface area of the frustum, which is pi r1 plus r2 into L plus the area of the bottom of the bucket, which is pi r1 square, considering this to be r1 and this to be r2. This is h. L we don't know. How do we find out L? From this point, if you draw a line parallel to this height, this is going to be 5, right? So the remaining thing is going to be 15 minus 5, which is 10. The height is 24. So L square will be equal to 24 square plus 10 square, which is 576 plus 100, which is 676. Therefore, L is square root of 676, which is 26 centimeters. So the slant height is 26 centimeters. So this will be pi 5 plus 15 into 26 plus pi r square is 25. You take, so this will be like 20 into 26 pi plus 25 pi. You take 5 pi common and you have how much? 26 into 4 plus 5. This is 104. 104 plus 5 is 109. So you have 109 into 5 into 3.14. We have to take pi as 3.14 and you get 1711.3 centimeter square. So this is going to be the area of sheet that is going to be used to make this particular bucket. The second part says why should we avoid the bucket made by ordinary plastic. So ordinary plastic buckets are made from PVC. They are not biodegradable and hence they cause problems to the environment. So they are not environment friendly because they are non-biodegradable, and that is why we should avoid making buckets or avoid using buckets that are made using ordinary plastic. So that's going to be the answer for the second part. And now this question is from heights and distance. Heights and distance, this again is a very easy question that has been asked in section D. Heights and distance, generally the questions asked from heights and distance are very easy. So make sure that you learn this topic very well and the concepts are clear, because if you are able to make the figure, if you are able to make the figure from the given conditions or given question, then solving the problem related to heights and distance is very easy. Let's see how this is very easy. Now there is a tower, it says, which is 100 meters high, and there are two ships that are going one behind the other. So there are two ships A and B which are a distance d apart. Let's say we have from the top of the tower, if you observe these two ships, the angle of depression is 45 and 30 respectively. What is angle of depression? This is the line of sight. If you look up, this is going to be the angle of elevation, and if you look down from the line of sight, it's going to be angle of depression. So angle of depression of one ship is 45 and the angle of depression of the other ship is 30 degrees. Okay, so if this is 45, by alternate angle this is going to be 45 degrees. If this is 30, this is going to be 30 degrees, and we have to find the distance between the ships, which is d. So this is the diagram, and once you make the diagram, it becomes very easy to solve. If this is AB, this is C, and this is D. Now from triangle BCD, we have tan 45, which is 1, is equal to CD by BD. Therefore, BD is equal to 100 meters because CD is 100 meters. Now in triangle ACD, tan 30 is equal to CD by AD. So you have 1 by root 3 is equal to CD is 100. And what is AD? AD is D plus BD, and BD has come out to be 100. So you have D plus 100 is equal to 100 root 3. So you have D is equal to 100 root 3 minus 1. Root 3 is given to be 1.732. So this is 0.732, and what you get is 73.2 meters. Okay, so the answer is 73.2 meters. Okay, so the next question is related to stats. So what it says is that there are certain classes given, class intervals given, and you have a few frequencies, and one of the frequencies is missing. The mean is given and we have to find out the missing frequency. So this is how you do it. For solving this question, for the given class interval, for the mean, we have the formula sigma fx by sigma f, which is the summation of all frequencies multiplied by the value of the variable. So sigma fx by sigma f. But here we have been given the class intervals and not discrete values. So for solving such type of questions, we first need to take out the mid value of the given class intervals. So for the first class, which is 11 to 13, the mid value is going to be 12. Similarly, for the second one, it's going to be 14. So we need to make an additional column in the given set of data, which will give you the mid value for each of the class intervals. So you have 12, 14, 16, 18 and others. Now when you have that, it becomes the value of x. Now you have the frequencies given in the second column. So you multiply f into x for each of the given classes and you get a set of data. You take the sum of all the f into x. All of them will be certain given fixed values except for one where the frequency is missing. That will be equal to 20f. So you take the sum and what you get is 704 plus 20f. So this is what sigma fx is. In the denominator for calculating the mean, we have to calculate the sum of all frequencies. So you have the second column which lists out all the frequencies. You take a sum of all the values and it comes out to be 40 plus f. You take out the sum of each of the given frequencies and its summation comes out to be 40 plus f. So so the mean x bar is equal to sigma fx by sigma f, which means the mean is given to be 18. So 18 is equal to 704 plus 20f divided by 40 plus f. When you solve this, you get the value of f as 8. So the solution, the whole simplification is given over here. This is what you need to do and you get the value, you arrive at the value of the missing frequency, which is equal to 8 in this particular case. So this is how you do this question. Okay, so the OR part of this particular question also is related to statistics, and it's a very simple question. There is a distribution given and in which you have been given the daily income in rupees of the number of workers. So there are different class intervals given. Total number of workers are 50, and what you need to do is you have to convert this distribution to a less than cumulative frequency distribution and draw its ogive. Let's see how we do this question. Okay, so now in this question what you need to first do is you again have to tabulate the data and add certain columns to it. Since you have been asked to make a less than frequency distribution, a cumulative frequency distribution, so you need to add the third column, which will be less than, income less than, because the variable is income, so you have to make a column income less than. And for each of the rows, what you need to do is you have to write the income less than the upper limit of the given class interval. So the first class interval is 100 to 120. So the first value in the column for income less than will be less than 120. Similarly, in the second row, the value will be less than 140. In the third, it will be less than 160, so on and so forth. And the next column that you need to add is the cumulative frequency column, and cumulative frequency is what you keep on adding the frequency. So for less than 120 rupees, the number of workers is 12. It's already given. Between 100 and 120 there are 12 workers. So less than 120 it will be 12. Less than 140 will be equal to 12 plus 14, which is 26. How? Because it's given that between the range 100 to 120 there are 12 workers, and between 120 to 140 there are 14 workers. So less than 140 rupees, the total will be 12 plus 14, which is 26, which is the cumulative of the two classes. Similarly, you go on writing the values for each of the rows and you get the different values. So you have a total of 5 rows in which you list out all the values. After that, what you need to do, so you arrive at the less than cumulative frequency distribution. This table is the cumulative frequency distribution, less than cumulative frequency distribution. Now the second step is to draw the less than ogive. For drawing the less than ogive, you need to plot the coordinate axis. So here you have the two coordinate axes, x and y. On the x axis is going to have the income values, because that's the variable. So you have the less than values you have to put. So you have to put 120, 140, 160, 180 and 200. On the y-axis, you plot the frequency. So the frequency lies between 10 to 50. So you have to plot the values accordingly. And for each data point that you need to pick, you have to pick it like this. In the column, in the tabular form that you have above, you see that the first point is 120. Less than income is 120, and the frequency for that particular value is 12. So the first data point that you get is 120, 12. So x value will be 120 and the y value will be 12. So the coordinates will be 120 and 12. So you have to locate that point on this coordinate axis that you have plotted, and you plot the point 120, 12. The second is going to be 140, 26, because that's what the second row says. So you have to look for the point 140 on the x-axis, 26 on the y-axis, and you have to plot that point. Similarly, you take all the 5 points. So the third point is 34, 160, 34. Similarly, the fourth one, and similarly the fifth one. So you plot all those 5 points. With a free hand, you join all these points. You do not leave it just like that. This point that you see 120, 12, you take it and join it to the origin. You have to imagine, there's an imaginary class that you have to make, and the origin, it won't be the 0, 0 point, it will be 100, 0. So you have to imagine a class with income 80, 100, and you have to take its value as its frequency as 0. So the first point, the starting point for the ogive is going to be 100, 0. So you could join from 100, 0 to these 5 points that you have already plotted. So you join them freehand, and this is going to be the less than ogive. So this is how you solve this particular question. I hope the whole session was good enough and you were able to follow the questions and the solutions as well. And the more you practice, the more you are going to get efficient in solving these questions. Most of the questions are going to come from the NCERT book, a few from the exemplar also. So if you take the NCERT book and if you're thorough with all the problems over there, I think you're good enough to go and get around 75. To excel, probably you'll need a couple of reference books or do more problems for practice. And this is how you succeed in class 10. It's not a very tough exam, but obviously you need to practice to make yourself perfect for the D-Day, which is the exam day. And just keep your mind cool. The exams are approaching and I hope that you will do good. All the best. More solutions and more sample papers will be coming from your tutors in expert sessions, and we'll keep meeting regularly. Okay? So all the best. Keep practicing and do good.